Long before humans carved their stories into stone, there was a sound, a hum. The heart's low rhythm stirred the oceans, breathed into the winds, and warmed the sun. It was the song that woke the world. This primordial pulse was the cradle of all life, a silent promise that as long as it beat, the world would thrive. Every blade of grass, every wave, every star in the night sky moved in perfect time with its cosmic melody. The world was a symphony, and the heart was its conductor. It was an age of perfect balance, where life flourished under a sky that felt alive and a sun that shone with purpose. The mountains themselves seemed to hum along, their stony peaks resonating with the planet's deep, gentle vibration. Life knew no fear, only the steady, comforting beat that promised another dawn, another season, another lifetime. It was a language understood not by the mind, but by the soul. But even songs grew tired. The heart's hum began to falter, a subtle change at first, a missed beat in the grand rhythm of existence. Then, the silence began to spread, like a stain. The seas stumbled in their dance, their waves crashing out of sync. The sky grew heavy, the clouds hanging still and grey as if they'd forgotten how to move. And all who lived beneath it, from the smallest insect to the mightiest beast, felt the silence creeping into their bones. The once vibrant fields of grass, which swayed in unison with the hum, now stood unnaturally still, their movement faltering, their green fading. Birds, once masters of the sky, would suddenly drop mid-flight, their wings forgetting the rhythm of the wind. A deep, unsettling quiet descended upon the world. The warmth of the sun seemed to dim, its rays losing their life-giving energy. In the villages, people looked up at the still sky, a collective fear growing in their hearts. The silence wasn't just an absence of sound. It was an absence of life. The heart weakens if it stops, so will we. The elders' words echoed the terror that had taken root in everyone's soul. The world was holding its breath, waiting for a beat that might never come again. But among the fearful, one child still heard the faint hum. Eri, the listener. She was different. While others felt only the encroaching emptiness, Eri could still perceive the ghost of the world's song. It was a whisper now, a fragile thread of sound on the edge of oblivion. But to her, it was as clear as a bell. Her own voice was born from the same ancient rhythm as the heart. She hummed melodies that seemed to echo the world's forgotten tune. While others huddled in fear, she would sit by the river, her eyes closed, listening to the faint echoes that no one else could hear. It wasn't just a sound to her. It was a call, a plea from the world itself. The quiet hum resonated within her, a familiar lullaby from a time before she was born. She knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that the heart was not gone, merely lost. It's still there, so quiet, like it's asking me to find it. Her words were soft, filled not with fear, but with a burgeoning sense of purpose. She was the only one who remembered the music, and perhaps the only one who could teach the world to sing again. If the world's breath fades, then I must breathe for it. With this simple, profound thought, Eri's journey began. She left her silent village behind, stepping into forests where leaves hung limp and lifeless on skeletal branches. She carried a small, simple lantern, but within it, the flame didn't just flicker with the wind. It pulsed in perfect time with the quiet hum of her voice, a tiny beacon of life in a dying land. Her path was a lonely one, a pilgrimage through a world that had forgotten its own pulse. Along the way, she met Kale, a wanderer whose heart had been hardened by a world of broken promises. He was a pragmatist, a survivor who put his faith in what he could see and touch, not in old myths and children's tales. He watched her with a skeptical eye, this small girl chasing a sound no one else could hear. "You're chasing a sound no one else hears," he told her, his voice rough with disbelief. He saw the futility, the sheer impossibility of her quest. But he also saw the unwavering resolve in her eyes, the gentle light of her lantern that seemed to defy the darkness. "But maybe I'll walk with you, just in case you're right." Perhaps it was curiosity, or perhaps a part of him he'd long since buried yearned to believe in a song again. And so, with doubt and courage walking side by side, they ventured toward the end of the world, to the cavern of the heart. They found it deep within the earth's core, a vast, cathedral-like chamber that seemed to absorb all light and sound. In the center of the immense cavern, the heart floated, a once brilliant, orb now dim and scarred. It barely pulsed, its light flickering like a dying ember. Cracks spiderwebbed across its crystalline surface, and from these fissures, darkness dripped like thick, black smoke, pulling on the stone floor below. The air was cold and heavy, thick with the silence of a universe on the verge of collapse. The sheer scale of the decay was breathtaking, a monument to a dying world. Cale, the skeptic, could only stare, his disbelief shattered by the terrifying reality before him. By the skies, it's real, but it's dying. His voice was a choked whisper, filled with a sudden, crushing and despair. The myth was true, and its end was upon them. But Eris saw something else. She felt the faint, struggling rhythm, the last spark of life deep within the orb's core. She stepped closer, her own heart beating in time with its faltering pulse. "No," she whispered, her voice clear and certain in the oppressive silence. "It's waiting, for the heart did not need strength, it needed song. It was not a machine to be fixed, but a living thing that had forgotten its own voice. It was waiting for a reminder, for a harmony to join its lonely, fading note." Eris stepped forward, her small figure dwarfed by the immense, dying heart. Closing her eyes, she took a breath and began to hum. It was a simple, quiet sound at first, the melody she had carried in her soul her entire life. Instantly, her voice found the heart's faint pulse, locking onto it, sensing with it. A vibration, low and deep, began to resonate through the cavern. The ancient, carved patterns on the walls began to glow with a soft, ethereal light, responding to the reawakened harmony. As Eris' hum grew in confidence, the heart began to respond. The cracks on its surface shimmered, and the darkness dripping from them slowed, then ceased. The orb's dim light intensified, its pulse strengthening, matching the rising cadence of her song. "Breathe, heart, breathe with me," her gentle hum transformed, swelling into a powerful, wordless song of renewal that filled every corner of the vast chamber. The hum grew into a wave of pure sound and light, rushing out from the cavern and into the world above. Clouds began to swirl and dance across the sky again. Waves crashed upon the shores with renewed power. Trees, once lifeless, burst into blossom in a matter of seconds. Cale watched, tears streaming down his face, his skepticism washed away by the undeniable miracle. "She's bringing it back." The heart hummed once more, its light brilliant and its rhythm steady and strong, awakened not by power, but by harmony. Eri, her song complete, collapsed gently to the stone floor, a contented smile on her face as her hum lingered in the wind. And the world breathed again. So long as there are listeners, the heart will never fall silent. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. If this story resonated with you, Please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more tales that explore the magic within our world. Your support helps us keep the stories flowing. See you next time.